Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel at least twice a week, and then movie reviews just like this one here at the weekend. I will leave my movie reviews playlist linked up above in case you are looking for something to watch this week. Today we are going to be talking about 4 Good Days, which stars Glenn Close and Mila Kunis as mother and daughter, and Mila Kunis plays a heroin addict who is trying to get clean and is looking for her mom to help her. So this is not the most cheerful of films, for sure. This is a kind of gritty drama, and it's very intense because we basically just have these 2 characters. There are a few other characters that get involved throughout the course of the film, but these 2 characters are the main ones that we spend any time with, and we spend a lot of time with them being in close proximity to each other, not having a lot of discussion, not having a lot to kind of like do at the same time, because obviously Mila Kunis's character Molly is just trying to get clean. She needs to be clean for 4 days, 4 more days at home after having done 3 days in rehab, so that she can get this shot that is gonna stop her from being able to get high off of heroin, opiates, various other things. It sounds like a magical shot. I don't know. As always, this review will be spoiler free. But yeah, this is a real chance for these 2 actors to kind of showcase their acting, because it is a very intense topic, and Mila Kunis obviously had to really slim down to a skeletal form to be able to play an addict. Think of Christian Bale in whatever film it was that he plays an addict. But yeah, well, kind of in The Fighter as well, he has to be quite different, and think Joaquin Phoenix in Joker. It's very kind of like startling the first time we see her, because she really does, you know, look like she is somebody that is coming down off of their heroin high. Yeah, this film definitely contains some care warnings for addiction and kind of the behaviors that go with addiction, and so do just take heed of that when you're thinking about seeing this film. I was able to see this film in the big screen. I am back at the cinema now, and it's one of those where I feel like this one would have worked whether it had been on the big screen or not. However, I think if you were watching this one at home, it would have been easy to be distracted by your phone, the other people in the room, things going on in your own home. During those moments of intense quietness, there are some really long periods where neither of the characters talk, or where one character says something and the other person doesn't reply. Sometimes they're in a car, sometimes they're in the garage, sometimes they are in a doctor's office, and so it's very intense, and you really get that feeling when you're sort of in a movie theatre or watching it in close quarters. It's something that would actually probably translate to working quite well watching on a plane, because you're just kind of tunnel visioned. You know, sometimes I'm like, don't watch this on a plane, see it on the big screen if you can, or see it on a big TV. This one, I think, because it's got those intense moments, you get so involved, you feel their pain, you feel their emotion coming out of the screen. I think it works really well. If, say, you were watching it on a laptop with headphones, you would get less distracted as well. So that's kind of a top tip for watching this one. The way that it was, you know, written, directed, edited, acted, does make you feel uncomfortable as an audience member. You definitely feel like, oh, I don't want to be watching this conversation between the 2 of them. It's a very uncomfortable conversation, or one of them is clearly not trusting the other one, or they're both not trusting each other, and it's so painful to watch as a sort of mother-daughter. I would say that this one also has sort of care warnings if you are not able to be kind of in contact with your own parent or your own daughter for whatever reason. So if you are a daughter who has a mother that you could be in contact with them, I'd recommend being able to do that, because I felt that emotion quite strongly of like not being in the same country as my parent and not having been able to be in the same country as my parent for a long time now. And so that definitely was something that I will take away. For Glenn Close, it did not seem as much of a sort of step away from the characters she usually plays. It was quite similar in some ways to the character that she plays in The Wife that she was nominated for an Oscar for. But then I have seen her play so many other things. However, having recently watched her in Hillbilly Elegy, it's like you take the character from The Wife, you take her character from Hillbilly Elegy, you merge them together and you get this character. She's not as, you know, high class in society as she is in The Wife, but she's not a hillbilly as she is in Hillbilly Elegy. She's somewhere in the middle. She's just a kind of like normal working mom. She has this job as an esthetician at a spa at one of the casinos near where they live, and so it's really interesting that she has to be so kind of calm and soothing and quiet when she's at work, and then she's got all this chaos going on at home. But again, it can often be a very quiet chaos, and so she must spend her life just feeling so contained. And we do see her kind of using alcohol as a bit of a salve for that, not extensively, but we do see her. So in terms of like the kind of step away from characters that she usually would play, I feel like this wasn't a massive leap for her. However, for Mila Kunis, I feel like she normally plays like the girl next door. Think of Friends with Benefits, think of Bad Moms, and in this one, you know, she's playing this 31-year-old drug addict, heroin addict, who has seen and done things that, you know, no person should have seen and done and experienced at the age of 31. She talks about, the character talks about having been a straight A student and then, you know, never graduated high school because she got addicted, you know, the amount of times that she's been through rehab and things like that. And so for Mila Kunis, I feel like this was a big step out of her comfort zone and a very different character to the characters that we see her play, and I really liked it. It was definitely a departure from that girl next door, mom in the suburbs kind of thing. She's still in the suburbs, but it's addict in the suburbs, somebody whose life has completely fallen apart. And so in terms of the acting, there's not a lot else to talk about outside of these two characters because it's very intense and it is just these two characters. But I thought that they both gave excellent performances. I enjoyed the way the film was put together with those long silences. It really did make it feel intense. It really did make it emotional. And the film, I feel, again, this is not a spoiler, but I feel like the film was left as tied together and tied up at the end as it could have been, with still some questions there that you left with as an audience member. And I quite like when that happens. I am definitely more of a fan of a tied up nicely, perhaps a predictable ending, because that's the kind of thing I like in my books as well. I like to know that I'm going to get some sort of resolution at the end. I hate zero resolution. And so this was like kind of the best of both worlds. I didn't feel like it was a film that lent itself to everything tying up nicely at the end. So I like the fact that we had a little bit of resolution, but there was still definitely some questions. There's still sort of some things where you're like, these characters are going to have to face this. What's going to happen to them when that comes around? So there you have it. Like I say, I think that watching it on a television at home, I don't think would be great, like sort of watching it with other people. I think watching it with headphones on a laptop would probably be quite good because you'll get that intensity. However, if you can see it on the big screen without that distraction, if you're thinking about returning to the cinema at the moment, I think it was a really good performance from both of these actors, and definitely a valuable film and something that I'm glad that sort of came out now while I was able to see it. So there you have it. As always, let me know in the comments if there is a particular movie you would like me to watch and hear my thoughts on. I'm happy to go and watch on demand. I will be back with another movie review for you next weekend, so make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out when I post. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you with my next video. Thanks for watching.